One.
Hey guys, welcome to this new podcast. We don't know what it's called yet, but it's going to be an internal podcast between myself, Sohail Var, and my boy.
Daniel Sheikh, also known as Prince Ali.
And by the way, we are going to have people come on the podcast. We're going to have guests, people who are part of the journey. But the goal of this podcast is to talk about whatever. So it doesn't really have a specific topic. We come on here, we discuss whatever's going on, and you guys get to see a behind the scenes of our journey while we're building everything up.
And the stuff that we talk about.
Yeah, so really excited. Episode 1, we're going to keep it pretty simple. It's going to be more of a recap episode for last couple months. We can touch on last couple months and then go from there. And then upcoming episodes, we'll get into topics and we can go deep.
Yeah. When was the last podcast that we did?
So the last podcast we did, I guess it was the Football Journey podcasts.
Yeah.
So that was right before summer 2022.
That was in May.
That was in May.
Last
So
year. That's crazy.
Almost a year ago. And for context, by the way, tomorrow's huge. Tomorrow is big because
Tell them what's
we have
happening.
our final match of the season. We have played a couple games more than other teams. So the season keeps going on for 2-3 more weeks. But because we're currently top of the table, if we win tomorrow, we get promoted.
To first division.
We lift the trophy to the UAE First Division. So huge match tomorrow. The season has been crazy coming to Dubai. There's been so much that we've been doing. There's football, but then there's also another side of things that they don't get to see, which we'll talk about. So
Exactly. You got to let them know what's happening.
yeah. But so let's backtrack because it's a recap episode. And let's go to summer 2022 because that's when we split up.
Yeah. So first off, how are you? How you doing?
I'm good, bro. I'm excited to be back together. I think the in-person energy has been good.
Yeah.
Because you've been gone for 2.5 months.
Yeah.
You know, this always happens. You're like, bro, I'll be gone for a week, 2 weeks. And then 3 months go by. This guy's still not back.
Trust, when you go back, you got to deal with business, So,
How's it been for you being back?
bro, it's been nice. So I've been back in Dubai for like literally 3 days. I came back. I walk into the living room and I see this.
Yeah.
2 professional mic setup, and he's like, yo, we're gonna podcast. I'm like, hell yeah, bring it on. So let's track back to what happened after May. I went to Bali and I did like a Southeast Asia tour.
Yeah.
Where did you go?
So quick context. So the reason we split is because I was in Dubai on trial with a team and I got the invite for preseason in August of 2022.
Yeah.
So the season was coming to an end. Summer in Dubai, crazy hot. Like nobody stays.
Everyone leaves.
So we were going to leave for 2.5 months until preseason starts again. And my thing was go back to Canada because I had my graduation as well and I want to see family.
Hey.
And you wanted to always go to Southeast Asia. So that's where you decided to go. And I think it was May 19th, May 20th, where we split ways.
May 19th.
And you almost popped your eye on the
Oh
plane.
man, so much happens. But
You have the craziest stories.
yeah, honestly, like you should have come with me. You should
Yeah.
have come with me. It would have been insane.
Well, we're going to do a
Yeah.
Southeast Asia trip soon,
We
which
are?
I'm really excited about.
Yeah, excited this summer. Something is going down.
Yeah.
We have Mount Kilimanjaro on the list.
Oh my God. It's going to be crazy. But to recap, I'll recap my summer. I'll keep it very simple and then you can go ahead with your crazy story. But so I came back to Canada. I had a stop in London, did some connecting networking with other football influencers. And then I came back to Canada. I had my graduation, did a couple events, kept pumping out content. And for
Yeah.
me that summer, I had just come off of a very bad ankle injury, grade 3 tear.
Yeah.
So it was get the ankle recovered and prepare for preseason because August, I got the preseason invite to do a closed trial with Golf United, the club I'm currently with.
Yeah.
And so for me, summer was fully locked in, focused. I'm training. I'm going to the gym. I'm going to the field. I'm putting in extra work and doing whatever possible to prepare for the return to Dubai, which was in August.
Yeah.
What was your summer like?
You made that very concise, man. I'm sure there's a lot more that happened. Like London was crazy, I'm sure.
Yeah.
My summer was it was a lot of fun, and kind of a nightmare as well. So I left off to Bali, someplace I've always wanted to go. And I was like, man, should I do it? And you were like, bro, just do it. Like, this is the move. You got to go out there and do what you want to do.
Yeah.
So I booked a trip to Bali, first time ever solo traveling. And man, I honestly, it's like living a dream. Completely tropical island, coconut everywhere, fresh food. Everything's almost vegan. Life is good over there, bro.
The first
Everyone's
couple
happy.
videos you sent me, I just see beautiful nature. It's
Yeah.
green, it's spiritual. And I was like, we have to go together one day.
Trust me, like that. I know if you're there, you're tapping into something else.
Yeah.
It's a different side of you that's gonna come out. So, anyways, I'm having a lot of fun in Bali, and you know, I'm being spiritual. I'm doing all these yoga practices every single day, and you know, I'm traveling around on a scooter. It's fun, bro. I'm living the island life, and the last day of my Bali trip, I decided to go right into the jungle, like straight down middle of the island alone, and something happened. I ended up getting bit by an insect, which turns into something disastrous, which I'll explain right now. So after Bali, I went to Vietnam, you know, again, completely different country. I've never been there. I'm
Yeah.
just like solo, just like doing it. And it's a lot of fun. I'm loving it over there. But 2 weeks in, like I'm noticing like a little pimple on my back. So that pimple in a few days turns into a giant cyst. And then that leads to me getting an emergency surgery in Bali. And that literally led to a situation that just wouldn't resolve itself. And it just kept not healing. So I had to come all the way back to Canada. And then we interlinked in Canada.
Yeah. And when you came back, so there's a whole crazy story of all the ups and downs you had to go through
yeah.
with the
Oh, yeah.
surgery. But basically, when you came back, your back still wasn't healed.
Now, there was literally, like, as you saw, there was a hole in my back.
Yeah.
The most bizarre thing that's ever happened to me. Like, there was a hole in my back when I went back to Canada, linked with them. But no more infected, and I was on path through, like, recovery.
And so at that point, we knew August we're making the return to Dubai. So we had that locked in. The goal was, let's get your back healed. On my end, get the ankle healed and make sure I'm fully prepared for the football trial.
Yo, you know, like, it was non-negotiable for us.
Yeah.
I wasn't ready health-wise. Like, I was like, oh, I'm not ready yet. And you were like, okay, I'm not ready ankle-wise, you know?
Yeah.
But we were like, okay, no, we have to make this work. So regardless of our setbacks, we decided, okay, we're going to, like, make a plan and we're going to go out there. And that's what we both did.
Bro, you know what happened? Because I haven't shared this before.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why I haven't shared this before. This is the first time I'm saying this. I was going through a time where the first part of 2022, if you go back on the TikTok videos,
Yeah.
hate comments like crazy. Everybody's hating on me,
Oh, man.
preying on my downfall, negative energy, like
Yeah.
crazy, hundreds, thousands of comments. So for me in the summer, think about like months and months of going through that, what that does to your mind. So I always try to stay persistent and keep pushing through things. But when so many people are hating on you, it starts taking a toll.
Yeah.
So when I had this ankle injury, I didn't want to go and tell people about it because then they're going to hate on me even more. Oh, excuse, he's not going to make it, blah, blah, blah. So, bro, I healed the ankle injury. I thought I healed it. And then
Yeah.
a week and a half before I go back to Dubai, something happens when I'm training. It was a
Yeah.
shot or something happened. And basically, the next day I'm limping and I can't even walk on it.
So this was a week before Dubai.
A week before Dubai.
No.
A week before a trial. I didn't even know I was going to be on the team. I'm risking it all. And I can't. I remember I was trying to do the dynamic warm up. We did a meetup in Montreal.
Yeah, yeah.
And
yeah.
I did this. I tried doing a dynamic warm up. I couldn't even do it. So I couldn't properly play with
That's
the
mad.
with
A week
everybody who
before
came out.
trial. Okay.
Yeah. And so a couple days I'm like fully locked in, do the physiotherapy, play my cards right. And when we took the flight over to Dubai, I hadn't touched a football in like a week.
Yeah.
And then the following week was the closed trial, which was 100 players. I thought it was going to be like 20 players.
No,
bro.
that's what I thought it was, and then like
Yeah.
there's 100 something players.
So
that
they
feels
first
completely packed.
They tell me it's a preseason invite
Yeah,
at first, and then they change it to closed trial. So basically, during the summer, they had hundreds of players try out for the club, and I think the sporting director said like 500 to 600 players came throughout different trials. And then the closed trial, I thought it was going to be 20. We show up the first day, and I remember the drive out. You remember Dubai? It was foggy. It's like we're going to
Bro,
war.
it's like a movie, man. Like it was a movie scene. Like the tensions were high, and you weren't even talking. You were just like sitting in the car straight, no words.
I
Just, like,
was
working
fully
away your
locked
ankle.
in,
Yeah.
bro. I was so locked in, and I get to the field. Beautiful facility, by the way. We're there like 6:30 a.m. because the heat is crazy in August, and bro, I just see waves of people coming in
You know what was scary? You couldn't even see them until they got closer because there was so much
because
fog.
the fog.
It was like some sort of apocalypse. Everyone's there for your position.
So next thing
Yeah.
you know, 100 people are at this closed trial, and
Yeah.
only a few make it past to the next week. So I'm at this trial with my ankle injury. I'm like, shit, 100 players, like great odds. But bro, I put my head down and I grind. And you got to see it firsthand. You had a unique perspective. But every single day, my preparation on point. I go out, I was an animal on the field. And after that week, they took 8 players onto the next week, which was the first week of preseason, with the first team to join the first team.
So I did want to say, as for context, as someone watching from the side, I was
Yeah.
there like every single like session, just like on the side
How did
watching
you find it? Like seeing,
Bro,
from the
honestly,
side?
I will say like I think you'll remember throughout the week, the first week, you'd be doing like there would be sessions, there would be drills and stuff.
Yeah.
Bro, halfway through the session, players would start dropping.
Yeah.
Dehydrated, cramps, and they just can't play anymore. And then you were there just like standing there stoic, no emotions, and then you were driven, bro. Like that's what I saw from the outside, and I heard like the coaches talking there like Soho's putting up a really like good show. Like this guy's like driven, consistent performance over and over again. It's looking very good for him. I'm hearing good things. So on the side, and you're just like focused. You're an animal on the field. So you honestly stood out like from the sides. A couple other good players, but it was a tough trial, I would say.
Remember what I told you on the car rides back? I'm like, bro, my ankle still hurts.
Yeah.
Like I was gassing out at some of the drills
Yeah.
and games that we were playing, but I didn't show it. I went in there fully locked in on the goal, and I think I surprised the whole coaching staff. They told me after preseason, but 8 players got selected.
Yeah.
Move on to next week, join the first team training. I get selected. Again, this is a recap episode, so I'll zoom out a bit. But basically, I go into preseason, and then every week of preseason, new players come in, and they cut some players. And they've got solid players coming in, players who have played Manchester United U23s. We're talking Manchester United, Premier League club.
Yeah.
3rd League, 4th League, England. And now they're like at the later stage of their career. So they've had, some proper players come in, and the weeks go on. And every week I make it past. And after 6 weeks, it was between me and a player who played in the championship.
Yeah.
And that week I went hardcore. Like I put everything out on the field.
Yeah.
And they offered me the contract.
I remember that, man. Like I think how many weeks was it? Like the preseason
It
trial?
was like 6 weeks.
Which is, I think, in my opinion, that's very long. Like,
Yeah.
we thought we were gonna get an answer right after the first week or two at least.
Yeah.
But it was like 6 weeks of like constant trialing and training,
Yeah.
and each week new people were showing up, man. So I was like, what's actually gonna happen? And
And there was a phase where we thought it
Yeah.
wasn't going to work out because the communication started to dip.
yeah,
Like it became very questionable.
yeah,
And I'm honestly, in my head, I was like, what other clubs could I make this work at?
yeah,
I thought it wasn't going to work out. And I started making moves on the side, but I kept putting in the work.
yeah,
And eventually it did work out. But I want to talk about that time frame other than football.
yeah,
Because everybody they see the football because the content is very football oriented,
Yeah.
which now we're evolving it to be other things. I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
And I know you guys are going to find value in that. But we came to Dubai. By the way, we come with nothing, no connections, no network. We don't know anybody. Grew up in Canada. Like that's where we have our family
Yeah.
and our upbringing. And we come to a brand new place, an expensive place, a place that's difficult to make it in. So we had to figure out a lot of stuff on the side. And one of the things that we were working on is the media marketing business, which, again, there's a whole story of we had our first client and how that went.
yeah, yeah.
But I'll let you chime in a little bit on the media marketing side of things.
So yeah, like dating back to like Spain the year before this year, that's how we made our income. We were like, okay, we're living in Spain. He's playing football, and I have a media marketing background. So I'm like, okay, let's get some clients. Let's do some media work. Let's try and make some money so we can like live here.
Yeah.
And Spain was okay, but in Dubai, brand new, like no connections, no friends. So it was a challenge. We came here. You knew a guy. His name, short guy. He's a real estate guy. What's his name?
His name, Realtor on a Harley.
Realtor on a Harley.
And by the way, working relationship and friendship and awesome guy, because I'll quickly talk about the backstory.
Yeah.
So with football, like unless you're playing at the highest level, you're not going to be making loads of money. Yeah. So for us, the media marketing business was one of two things. One, extra income. And now it's getting to a point where we want to scale it. And we know we want to have multiple income sources and we want to keep building those. And two, we had the skill of creating engaging content and we wanted to help companies grow their vision and what they had going on. So coming to Dubai, we were in a tight position. And basically I'm DMing people. I'm in Canada.
Yeah.
So I'm training in the summer. I'm locked in on the preseason and I'm trying to network, DM, like do whatever I can to set things up for us for the return to Dubai.
Yeah.
And out of all the DMs I sent, this one guy gets back to me. And basically, I convinced him, yo, cover our accommodation for 1 month and we will come out for you and film videos and help you grow your personal brand. And after a couple back and forths, he locked in the deal. And that's how we had our first month's accommodation. We had an Airbnb that was covered by him and came here on the grind. And that was when we really start to scale up. That was like, okay, now you have the opportunity. What are you going to do with it? Because I was still in preseason with football, so no contract signed there. And Dubai is an expensive city to live in. So those couple of weeks we started with him. And then that led to another client, which is one of our favorite clients.
Yeah. It's a bike company. We'll just say that.
Yeah.
But Zoe, super cool guy. He gave us a chance and he really liked us. And he was like, guys, like, let me connect you with some other people. And that led to us like finding new clients in Dubai. And this brand is like, if I have to say, like, it's Harley Davidson. And honestly, I've never been up close to a Harley Davidson before, but I went in there and I said, like, I need to buy a bike this year. So yeah, we got Harley Davidson on board. And this was what, September now?
This was around September, towards the end of preseason. And by the way, every day is crazy. We're trying to make things work here in Dubai. New city, we don't know anything, don't have a car.
Yeah.
I remember I got a car rental. I'm like, yo, we got to figure this stuff out. Every couple of weeks, I was hitting up Volkswagen, like searching up the emails, trying to contact them to try and get a car for a couple of days in exchange for content. Because that way, then I wouldn't need to pay for a car. So I remember it got us the Volkswagen for a couple of days. Then it ran out. And I'm like, oh, shit. Like, I got to go.
New brand deal, message somebody else.
Yeah. And it didn't always work out. So at some point, I needed to go and get the car rental. Yeah. And that's like one of those things. Then accommodation, the instability with that, sorting out visas and that situation. There was so much that we needed to figure out.
Yeah, honestly, it was a lot. And I'm glad we got through it. Like, our days would look like, crazy. Wake up at like, if you have training, like wake up at 6:30 in the morning.
Bro, in August we would be up at 5:15 because now training starts later. But back then it was super early, like 6:30. We would need to be at the football pitch already.
So literally 5:15, 5:30, we're up, right? And since then we grind all day. You know, go to training, come back, eat, go out, do video work, and then we gotta go deal with visas, rentals, work. And we come home, work for the last 4 hours of the night. You was shut down near 11.
Yeah.
And I was shut down like a little bit after that, like 12. And then repeat, like 5 hours of sleep and then go again, you know?
Yeah.
So, oh man, that time was rough. It
was rough. And we kept grinding. So sign the contract, by the way. Then the season starts. Again, zooming out now. I'm playing with the club. Great environment in terms of facilities, in terms of the coach, Stephen Taylor, Newcastle United legend, played in the Prem. So literally, bro, like the last couple of months, almost every single day of the week, I'm learning from a guy who played in the Prem.
Yeah.
It's a blessing. So a lot of great things. We had some top players who have played Man United U23s, talk with them. They said they did first team training with like Rooney and like all these top players. So
That's
the
phenomenal.
caliber of players on our roster, crazy. And I integrated into the squad, got a couple of appearances first half of the season, which was good. On the back end, we're still trying to build ourselves up and get, integrated into Dubai.
Yeah.
And then I guess the next phase we can talk about World Cup, because that's another big thing that happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
And do you have any other thoughts like leading up to the World Cup?
If anything comes to mind is the only thing that comes to mind is like we had a cool ass brand deal where we went to that hotel,
Are you
The-
talking about Address Beach?
Address Beach Resort.
Bro, that was before.
Oh,
That was before the summer,
okay,
fam.
okay.
That
Clearly, a lot's happened.
that was 1 year. That was around a year ago today.
Yeah. Shoot. Okay.
Yeah, that was way before.
My bad.
It's all good. But we did a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
We did a lot of stuff. We had a phase where we went to Dera. And
Oh my god, bro! Do not mention that. Do not.
well, if they want to hear the Dara story, I'm gonna highlight it with cockroaches. Our car got stuck at 3 a.m. at night. No shower curtain. Living with 8 other people.
8 people, bro.
8 people. We'll leave it at that. If you want to hear the story, let us know in the comments, and we'll.
I don't want to tell that story, bro. That was not a great time.
That was one of the most difficult times, but it got us to where we are.
Yeah.
So let's fast forward to the World Cup then. You got the World Cup coming on, and the World Cup, we had a FIFA fan zone with the club. So we were out at the Dubai Harbor doing a bunch of activities there. That was cool. Highlight for me that month was meeting Kaka.
That's crazy. We've met Kaka.
Bro, Kaka.
Ballon d'Or, Kaka.
Kaka, bro. 2007 Ballon d'Or, best player in the world.
How cool was he? So you actually played a game against him?
I played a 3v3 against him, and I nutmegged him.
No way.
Yeah, bro. Through his legs. Super cool guy.
Yeah.
Like, smiling, chill. We talked for a bit. And also, when he played against me, all the guys were saying he always had a smile on his face, which was good. Because I was playing around with the ball a bit, and I think he liked that level of competition. But that was a highlight. Another highlight was I hosted a ball mastery class.
Yeah.
Where we had like 30, 40 people come out and watch that.
That was cool.
That was pretty cool.
So pretty much you were on stage.
Yeah.
And then you had like, 30 people in the crowd just like following you.
Yeah.
Like train them pretty much.
Yeah. The World Cup itself was pretty cool.
Yeah.
We didn't get to watch that many games. We wanted to go to Qatar. It
Did
didn't
you?
happen.
What happened with Qatar? Tell me.
Bro,
We
what
had
happened
tickets.
with
We had
Qatar,
tickets. What happened?
I was trying to make a move. Like, you know me. I was grinding the weeks, all the weeks of the World Cup. I'm like, I gotta get us to Qatar. So finally, get us the tickets to Qatar. Bro, the Haya card doesn't come in.
Haya.
And for context, the Haya card is something you needed to be able to enter Qatar.
Yeah.
So there was a whole backlog with the system and everybody was complaining, but didn't end up working out for us. So didn't go to Qatar. But World Cup was good because one thing that really shifted also was getting a lot more brand deals, starting to work with more companies.
Yeah.
And I think the World Cup happening and so much attention being brought to football opened up the door
It was
for
a
that.
catalyst for a lot of things.
Yeah, so that was
Like
really
this guy
good.
got a brand deal with KFC, man. Like,
I knew.
where's my chicken
out
nuggets?
of all the brand deals,
Where's
you had
my
to point
bucket
out
at, bro?
KFC, bro. Out of all the brand deals,
Like the only thing I got out of there was like a pop. That's
Yeah.
all I got out of it.
I tell him, I'm like, bro, you never guess like what the next brand deal is. He's like, who is it? Who is it? I'm like, bro, KFC. First thing he says, he's like, bro, are we getting lifetime KFC? I'm like,
Bro, that's always been my dream, you know? Okay, look. Okay, for context, I know KFC,
Oh my
UK,
God.
North America,
Yeah.
not good. It's not good. Come to Dubai, KFC is a different deal. Like, I'm
so
telling you, it's different.
anytime we would order on Talabat, this guy's go-to was KFC. What would you get? A Zinger burger?
I would get a spicy Zinger burger, bro. It's juicy, tasty, spicy.
it's-
Bro, the fries, so good. Anyways, those days are behind me. But anyways, I was
But it
very
cool.
excited.
We did
Yeah.
KFC, Pepsi, Puma. We did a couple of really cool brand deals. And the World Cup, you left before the World Cup final?
I left right before the World Cup
Oh
final.
my God, we didn't even get to watch it together.
No, did we watch the semifinal together?
Did we? I'm not sure.
Not
I
sure.
know we were disappointed Ronaldo got knocked out.
Yeah.
That was disappointing. But so you left December 16th, I think it was.
December 16th, I left.
Yeah.
And I landed, like, when I got to Ottawa, like, literally, that was the day of the final. I got there. I went into, like, the mall. I ran to ATV, and it was on a small TV, bro. Ottawa's not
Yeah.
a big football culture. Small TV. It's playing. There's like 5 guys standing there. We're all just like cheering on. We're cheering on Messi. Mbappe's killing it. So
It was
what's
a
happening
crazy
here?
final, bro.
Yeah. What's happening here in Dubai? You came
So-
to the fan zone, yeah?
No, so I got sick right around the World Cup final. So I
No way.
actually watched the World
Yeah.
Cup final alone on that couch, bro.
You being serious?
I swear. The
I
couch
swear.
you're
I
sitting
thought
on-
I thought you went out with people.
No, not for the final. The final, I watched it here alone.
Wow.
And it was a crazy final. But so again, for context, now the first half of the season is ending. We have a 2-week Christmas break before
Yeah.
the second half of the season starts. And this is where you decided to go back to North America. Do you want to explain why?
Yeah. So the reason why is my back situation that happened in Bali.
Yeah.
When I went to Canada the first time in the summer, they gave me antibiotics. They fixed me up, and I had like maybe 4 to 8 weeks of healing time. But now it had been like almost 4 months, and my back had not fully healed. The wound kept opening up. It would close, open up. So it's like it's an open wound after like
Yeah.
almost 6 months, right? So
Also, when you were in Dubai,
yeah.
the whole first half of the season, I was taking care of your back, and every single time it would heal and then it would get worse.
Literally, and it was very uncomfortable, like you can't do fitness, you can't move around a lot, and I just felt limited, and I had to constantly ask your help to take the bandage off because it's on my back, and you would like shave like the hair off my back.
Yeah.
So it was really tedious constantly going to the hospital. And I said, listen, I'm gonna go back to Canada, get free healthcare, and like get this looked at. And that's why I went back to Canada in December.
Okay, so you go back to Canada, and why does 2 weeks turn into almost 3 months?
Oh man, I don't know which version of the answer I should give you, honestly. Yeah, so I was supposed to be there for 2 weeks, and after 2 weeks, plan was come back to Dubai and like get into it,
Yeah.
So a couple things happened. I went to New York. New York was a lot of fun, but before New York, I was trying to set up some sort of appointment.
Do you
get
want
my
to
back
talk
looked at.
about
Yeah.
why you went to New York, like that whole thing, or do you want to leave that off? It's up to you.
Oh yeah, I just want to like. It's just like it's like a friendly trip. Call it.
Okay, because
Yeah.
the reason I'm saying, because this podcast, now we're doing a recap,
Yeah.
but in the future, we're going to talk about a lot of different topics.
Yeah.
So providing context on certain things will be beneficial. But we don't have to do
Yeah.
it today.
Yeah.
So it's up to you.
So all I'll say is I had plans to go to New York. I had a connection there, and
Okay.
connection, and
Yo.
anyways, like the whole thing was like come back to Ottawa,
Okay.
quickly get my back looked at, see an assessment,
Yeah.
and they gave me an MRI date. They said, okay, come back after 4 weeks because MRIs are hard to get. So I said, okay, fine. I'm gonna actually go to New York. I have someone there waiting for me. So I went to New York.
It's someone waiting for you? Yo.
Yeah, we'll just leave it at that, okay? Anyways, I went to New York and, I had a lot of fun. I came back to Ottawa after New York after a month.
Yeah.
I spent a whole month in New York. We should go to New York sometime. Let's get that visa sorted. And trust me, you're gonna love it there. I come back to Ottawa. Bro, it's like snowing, storming, terrible weather, and I'm just like, where am I coming back to? I need to go back home, back to Dubai. So I go to the hospital and I'm like, hey, so I'm here for my MRI. I have an appointment. They're like, oh, we canceled your appointment because we didn't get the documents from your doctor. So they made a mistake in the system, and they were like, okay, we're going to have to reschedule you. And my next appointment for an MRI was in April.
Wow.
So I'm just like, cool, what do I do? Do I actually stay back here till April, or should I just go back?
Yeah.
So around the same time, my sister was getting married. So it was her wedding. I was like, okay, I'm here anyways. I'm going to be at her wedding. Like, I am seed. And, congratulations to them both. I had a really good wedding. And right after, like a week after, I booked my flight and came back here.
You came back a few days ago.
Yeah.
Finally. And so my side of the story was I was in Dubai 2 weeks off football. So I was like, yo, I need to train and improve because I want to have a great second half of the season, and still doing like all the side work, focusing on content, all of that, our client work. And then second half of the season starts. And basically, I remember the first game back, I make an appearance. We have a couple of exhibition games. We played Al Ain, we played Sharjah. I remember coming on against Al Ain, and this is
okay. Al Ain, like, give us some context.
So
where's Al Ain?
The best football club historically in the UAE. Asian Champions League, they've won, and they've won multiple titles in the UAE Pro League. So one of the best clubs in Asia.
That's like pretty much the Middle Eastern, like Real Madrid.
Sure.
Nothing can compare to Real Madrid, but hey, we're saying that, you know?
What team does Ramos play for?
Ramos?
Yeah.
He moved to PSG.
Yo.
I got it. I'm learning football. Let's go.
We played top clubs like that. We played against Sharjah. They just signed Pjanic, who played for Barcelona with Messi. And so top clubs. We're playing top clubs. We lose 1-0, 2-0. But basically, second half of the season goes out, and this is where I will not get into the details of things because I'm still currently in the season with the club. But there were some behind the scenes politics and decisions being made that were not related to performance and that I found very unfair. So I'll leave it at that. And after the season is done, depending on where the future is for me football wise, I'll see how and when I want to address that.
Yeah.
But regardless of the situation, stayed positive, kept putting in the work. And second half of the season, the team has been doing well. We've been getting points, and we're now at a stage where the big match is tomorrow. And if we win this match, then we get promoted, which is the season goal. So it's crazy to be at this point in the season now where you win the game and you get that promotion.
Oh, man, that's sick. It's quite the journey. I wanted to ask you a question. 3 months I've been gone.
Yeah.
What has your mindset been like the last 3 months? It was amazing weather in Dubai. So you break it down for me.
The big thing is, we talked about this, the time away for me, it gave me a good time to reflect on a lot of things. And I realized when I'm independent, I'm a very disciplined person, very disciplined, especially when I'm independent. So my routines were on point. I was doing all the recovery. I was shutting down on time. I was doing all the things I knew I needed to do to mentally be happy and be able to perform at a high level on the pitch. So in that sense, things were very good. I was very excited to reflect back on also our relationship, our working relationship, our friendship, everything, and understand what are the tweaks that we need to make things better. And this is what we've constantly been talking about in the last couple of days, which for example, when we went for dinner last night, I was mentioning, a couple things about those tweaks that I feel like we need to make.
Yeah.
And that was my mindset during the time. It was grind. We both have a similar mindset. We're always going to be working. We're going to be grinding. But it was on an independent level, get the routines on track, be a high performer, and then what can I do to help us operate better and help move the vision forward. And then also connection with Tarek, with Matter Nutrition. There's a lot of cool things that we can talk about. But there was a phase, and that phase, I guess, could also be elongated throughout the second half of the season, where the football situation took a toll.
Yeah.
And again, I'll leave that off to the side for now. But that was my mindset during the 3 months. How was it for you?
Mindset was really good. Like, I think similar to you, I was in a state of like just becoming a better version of myself, like letting go of some responsibilities, offloading.
Yeah.
And really focusing on how I can become better. I know we were doing like weekly calls to talk about mindset and like how we can perform better as a team. And we dealt with like a lot of confusion in terms of being friends of like 11 years. Like, yeah, coming on to 11 years now.
Crazy.
That's crazy. So we're best friends, but we're also doing business together, which now when you mix business and friendship, that it becomes tricky, you know? So you're working with a person and you're also friends with them. And that can become there can be tension at times. So being apart actually, I think, helped us get our minds back on track. And, you know, like when I'm back here, like literally the last few days that I've seen, like, has been fantastic. Like, your energy's been right on point. We're working a lot better, a lot smoother. Mindset's been a lot more effective. So for me, last 3 months were really just getting into the right place, right mindset, and like letting go of the negative stuff and moving forward into like what we're getting to now, you know?
Yeah, and I want to give a shout out to Mark. That was a big part of things too. I set us up with a mental coach, essentially. Yeah. So Mark has been, and that's the weekly calls that you're talking about. Every single week, we've been coming together and we've been having a call with Mark Hospitre, which fancy last name. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. But he's like multiple businesses, thought leader, leadership coach, mental performance coach, and he's helped us get our mind on track. Yeah. And he's helped us understand how to work better as a team, how to scale our company on a personal level, how to perform better as an athlete psychologically. So how I can prime my mind for peak performance. And that's been super useful. And we're still doing those calls every single week.
Yeah. Like those kind of calls, like that, those weekly calls are the things that I feel what matures us.
Yeah.
We go from like, young boys on like trying to make it to like, we're becoming men that own businesses and we make big moves, and we're at that mindset now, So honestly, like those calls and just like mindset elevation has been fantastic for me.
Yeah, it's been really good. So that, in terms of recapping things, that was a very like scratching the surface recap, but that was the goal of episode 1.
Yeah.
We can both sit here for another 5 hours and get deep into topics and like get to the deeper levels of things. But I think we leave that for episode 2.
Yeah.
On the recap side of things, is there anything else that comes to mind that we should talk about?
Recap side of things.
I think we did a pretty good job of recapping from last summer to now. Obviously, things we left out didn't come on top of mind, but I'll give a bit of context to what the future is, and then the goal is to do an episode like every couple of days. So the podcast is going to be pretty frequent. But the big thing is we got the match tomorrow, going for the promotion, and then the next couple of weeks is going to be continuing training, and we're going to scale up our company. So they'll get to hear more about that. The obstacles, all the opportunities that we have, and all the crazy stuff that, like, bro, stuff like me going to a radio. Actually, you say this one. I want you to say this one.
So this was while I was still in
still in Canada. Yeah, you don't need to say the story, but just quickly highlight what it is, because these are the things we're going to talk about in upcoming episodes.
Okay. This guy believes in the third door strategy, and third door strategy is pretty much finding a way to get to something that's really inaccessible. And let's just say this guy walks into a radio station, knocks on like 1,000 doors in one way or another. Like the next day he was on like live radio. Yeah. So anyways, there's a whole story for that, but some crazy things.
The next day was a boost, but basically I don't know anybody in the radio industry, don't know anything. I'm on the street. I see a radio show station on the building, and 2 weeks later I'm on live radio, one of the top radio stations in Dubai.
That's
so we'll leave it
crazy.
at that.
Yeah.
We have a lot of crazy stories like that. I think we should also talk about topics that they don't often get to see with the content, because the content is football. And with football, I'll get into details of things like how to make connections, the reality of the industry, like the behind the scenes that people don't get to see, how you can get an advantage in certain situations. There's a lot I learned this year. But putting football aside, there's a whole side of topics that I want to talk about with you. For example, growing this media marketing business. How do you grow a business when you're two guys from Ottawa, Canada, who no business family background, nothing, and we don't know
I'm
anything.
supposed to be an engineer right now, by the way.
Me too. No, doctor.
You're supposed to be a doctor.
Both.
Yeah.
It didn't happen.
Both.
Sorry,
No, that
sorry.
ass. Yeah.
Sorry, mom. Sorry, dad. But that's what I want to talk about is how do you start a business?
Yeah.
How do you make money as you're on your journey of being a pro athlete or building up whatever you want to build up? How do you create connections? How do you build a network when you come to a brand new city and you don't know anybody? Social life, I want to talk about. Relationships, dating, going out. Like those are going to be like fun topics that we can talk about.
We're going to get into it.
Finances, events, name things that come top of your mind. But I'm just trying to think of things that we don't address with the content. But this podcast, we're going to get into those things. And
Like the real world,
yeah,
things we actually never talk about. Like I'm excited to share all that stuff.
it's going to be entertaining and valuable at the same time.
It's going to be so valuable. Like there's some great stories in there, but like for those people that are trying to make it,
Yeah.
I think
good.
if they can use this as a guide, that would be fantastic.
So on that note, let us know if there's any specific topics you want to hear.
You know what they want to hear about?
What?
They want to hear about boxing. What the hell's going on? Why do you have some gloves in the room? What's going on with that?
It's serious.
It's getting serious.
Yeah, I invest.
Did somebody challenge you? Should we?
I
expose the
do
name?
have someone in mind
Yeah.
who has today they claim they've been training for me. So boxing is another topic.
We'll keep it
That's
for next
another
episode.
topic.
Yeah.
But we're gonna get into boxing, and I'm gonna train you. I'm gonna turn you into a beast.
It's happening. Yeah.
Already with the workouts, like how has it been the last couple of days? I've been pushing you through workouts.
It's been really, really good. Today we did like a really heavy overload. So I haven't trained in like 6 months, man. I've been completely off it.
Yeah.
Today you put like 2 plates on my squat, and you were like, Dan, do it. Like, don't be a wimp. Do it. I'll keep it PG. Don't be a wimp. Get it done. Get that squat done. 5 reps. And bro, like my legs, they're dusted right now. I feel good though. I can vision myself in that ring.
It's gonna happen. You're gonna build up your strength, your power. You're gonna get more lean. You're gonna turn into a beast, bro.
Yeah.
We're gonna turn you into an animal.
So honestly, let's talk about this on the next episode. I want to talk about that weight jump you're trying to make right now.
Oh yeah, that's another thing we can discuss. So again, on that topic, be very specific with things. Like I want to listen to you guys talk about this aspect of your life, and we'll actually make it happen, because this podcast, we talked about it. If it gets 6 views, we don't care. This is more so like we just want to do it for us, and we also want to do it for you guys who find value in listening in on how we're building up our life and different aspects of it. So hope you guys enjoyed this first episode of, we don't have a name yet. So if you guys
don't have a name yet podcast,
let us know. But drop a like on this video if you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for tuning in. And I'm excited for this because it's the start of a new chapter, long format content. You get to see a bit more of our personalities, because I'm a very short format guy, bro. Like every single day I create content consistently.
30 seconds.
It's always short format videos. So now you get to see the behind the scenes of the journey that we're on. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Dan, any last words?
Hakuna Matata, baby.
Wow. What are we
Do you know what that means?
Explain.
It means no worries.
No worries.
For the rest of your day.
For the rest of your day. I don't know the rest.
Hakuna Matata. Doom, doom.
And
Alright.
people are clicking off the video right now.
Yeah, okay, that's the point. Okay,
We're gonna
anyways.
end the video right now.
Yeah.
The next podcast coming in a couple of days, and we will see you then.
Let's get it. We're out. Peace.
Peace.